No days. No days.
You can't hear Demi doing a poo, bees. That's disgusting. We're in gameplay mode now.
Okay.
Now, I think it should be up to the GM how our people get there. I think they should be able to I think our copy starts once they're in the thing syncing.
Yeah.
So it's up to them if they because it could be a good moment in their story. Because one of the good things about a one shot is you can kind of drop it in anywhere.
Sure.
So and also you can kind of have it in your back pocket where it's I'll just wait for them to do something really fucked up and then I'll send them to
underwater
prison.
Yeah.
Or you can just be we're just doing this.
Or they could be, they're on a regular boat and they've been shanghaied and the captain gets paid off to...
Whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Come on.
You want us to wipe your bottom for you too? Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry I had to say that.
I didn't know your fans were like this. And
I just get so
really,
mad I have
really
to...
terrible.
It gets disgusting and poisonous, and I think it's actually a problem with the community.
It's toxic.
Yeah.
They're always wipe my bum.
Yeah,
And I'm
they
like,
say that. And I'm like, yeah, well, I will.
Anyway, I think they arrive there and they're raked in. The first thing they hear is they get to, I think the thing has a little viewport for some reason.
Yep.
But only one, so they can only look out once at a time.
Yeah, that's good. Yep.
Yep.
And
already you've got 4 people. Look, are they going to know each other beforehand?
Yes, these will be adventurers who will probably let's assume because most one shots are played with existing parties.
Okay. I'll take it. I'll accept it.
Yeah.
But that said, you could do this one and it'd just be 4 strangers thrown in together. This wouldn't be a bad one to do a standalone of new characters.
And I think that's a fun thing to play with if yeah. So go down, they hear the sound of these they would see through the viewport these rakes coming toward them. I'm imagining they're kind of fingers
Yeah, but also do you know what this is going to be as you're seeing this thing do this coming closer and closer and then whoop-omp.
So they get raked in, they drop to a certain I imagine there's if this is the seabed, so you can't see this, but this is just for my friends here.
Yeah.
See the
Oh my god, what he's creating is incredible.
I know. Do you know I had a friend who was really, really bright, okay? He was his intellect still terrifies me. He now works for the Oxford English Dictionary coming up with
There's a chance that this story is going to end and that friend is you. And then
when he would he got 1,000 in his HSC, which you're not meant to be able to do.
Oh, he hacked it.
He rewrote the rules.
Yeah. But when he would get bored in class, he would sit there with his hands like this on the table and he would try and make a perfect galloping elephant.
To do the legs properly?
Yeah, to get them to kind of... It was quite remarkable to see. He did it really well. Anyway, point is...
And that man's name was...
Matt Roden.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not what I wanted, but I'll take it.
He won't admit that he works for the Oxford English Dictionary, but he does. So they are there. I reckon there's a drop, from where all the stuff gets filled in. So it comes into a part of the prison into some kind of airlock, I imagine.
Yep. Sifting thing. Lots of sand.
Yeah, they get sifted.
Sifting.
Flapping sharks and
some
shit.
constitution checks, I imagine, they're happening Eden because they're getting jumbled around.
Yeah. Bath. And you're in a circle, so the bath gets all over you.
Yep.
Yeah?
So now there's bath to deal with.
No.
Then they get rolled down a thing into the holding area, which is where they welcome new prisoners. I don't think we're meeting our warden yet.
No.
I think we're meeting our
Maybe you go straight into the sorting. That's part of the process, the sifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
a guard or a what's-a-me-doogie.
Yeah, I think it's that's cool. It's a kind of
tattered old hat that you put on their head and they say...
Classic.
But do we want to... Because Eden made a very good point earlier that, we don't want to split the party too much. So,
look, you could make them all prisoners or make them all guards. I think if you're doing an even split with a party, it could actually be interesting.
Yeah.
To do... But then you also get the thing of, your prisoners have access to guards, but...
It's hard because, ideally, when you put players in a new place, you want them to be able to talk for a while.
Yeah, I think make them prisoners in the prison.
And I reckon that you could become a guard thing is a later thing. I think our players are going to start as prisoners.
What if they start as prisoners and then in not too long there's a lottery coming up, so that they're aware that they might be split.
Yes.
And then they can or can't use
Gordian
that.
knot, yes, we are doing the Stanford Prison experiment. Matt had a whole thing about
He
that.
named names.
Are you
He
too
named
busy
it.
taking beautiful photos of Freedom of Good Home to focus on this?
He named
I'm
dropped.
sorry, Matt. These guys, they're just toxic.
You can't listen to every
Fine.
single thing I say and absorb it and then not repeat it back into the chat. I get it.
Gatekeeping.
It's gatekeeping. It's gatekeeping is what it is.
Gatekeeping?
Gatekeeping?
Gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Calm down.
This is this guy on guy
Oh my
stuff
God,
again, isn't
this
it, Debbie?
is gatekeeping.
so I think that's
I was doing a fun character the other day to Tom where I was like being like Paulie Walnuts but trying to like explain.
Wait, who's Paulie Walnuts?
From The Sopranos.
Paulie Walnuts?
Yeah, where
They're
he's
like
like, he's the one
this.
that does this.
Why
And he's
they call it-
pointing.
why
And
they
he's
call it
like,
not on the E Street
it
Band.
comes when Tony Soprano and he's like, well, what is gaslighting? And Paulie Walnuts is like, don't. It's like, it used to be that you would convince someone they was crazy, but now if you don't like someone, they're gaslighting you. Then he just goes like this and like swings down his
and
leg.
then like maybe
How's
like
your lighting their gas?
and then maybe like 20 minutes later in the episode, Tony's like to come out like, you gaslighting me.
Yes, yes!
You gaslighting me.
Yes.
And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Gaslighting!
And then she throws a plate of cannoli. You've been gaslighting me 25 years.
I found out about that gaslighting. And you know what?
So
little
Paulie
gaslight.
Walnuts greets you.
Yes.
So you're greeted by Paulie Walnuts,
Yeah.
who is a guard who has like... Do you know what I think it is, by the way? I think in these situations, it is like where everybody is shit and everybody has a shit life. There are like these like micro hierarchies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he is like within the guards. He is like 9.2 on the something, and he's really proud of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that means a lot to him, and it means a lot to everybody else. And so, like, he gives you a welcome to. We haven't even named this place yet.
Oh, shit.
Aleutian prison. Aleutitia.
Can anybody
working
top
with?
those
Mariana's Marinara's Trench.
Where the way that I always try to name things is like speak like a sim until a word pops out.
Okay.
Begin.
You know? Like Skura Manjo, Bully Chunks, Rimbo Glanch, Mingy Loto Shorp. You know?
Mingy Loco
Aquatraz
Mingy
is
Loto
pretty
Short?
fucking good.
Aquatraz.
We're not topping
Damn it.
Aquatraz.
We
Fuck's
already
sake.
picked.
Sorry.
Aquatraz.
Car City Ringwood.
It would have taken you ages to gibberish your way towards
Really,
Alcatraz.
absolutely would have.
Aquatraz.
I mean, it would have been
Like-
like a monkey typewriter situation.
I would have said like
Oh, I like what that
3-4
says
days.
about me. You Demi, our one monkey with no typewriter.
Do you know that if you've ever enjoyed a Demi Lardner show, it's been the result of like literally 6 years of her sitting in a room saying
Saying gibberish. Oh my God.
Until Siri recognizes just the English bit.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
pulls them out. I'm doing no work.
hugely labor intensive, but it gets results, Demi.
Yeah. I know. That is actually not that far away from how I work, honestly.
Chateau Rimbo Glanch. It's actually.
Yeah, Rimbo Glanch.
No, we said it. You're wasting your breath, guys.
Aquatraz.
You're wasting your breath. Aquatraz.
Get over it.
So when they get into Aquatraz, they are taken into the
Oh, I hate
room.
it. Every time you say it, I hate it more.
They get,
Disgusting. Ugh.
they get a talk from Paulie Walnuts. Paulie Walnuts gives them the, and we'd write this in the spiel about the welcome to Aquatraz sort
Yep.
of thing.
Here's the lowdown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here's the lowdown. It's
And it's lowdown.
Yeah, it's
that
very
might be a
low
nice
down.
line for him to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might be a good bit of dialogue.
Okay,
for-
I can keep more of them to myself, but I'll be thinking of them. Just let you know.
So then what happens? They go to probably like one more destination before they go to their cells.
Prison yard.
No. It's
No.
it's the shave your head spray down. Here's your clothes.
And Demi,
Yeah.
why do you think they have to shave their heads?
Because then Dragon needs a wig.
Okay, great. And do you think that's ever
True.
said? Do you think it's like it's said to them as they're getting the hit, like dragon needs a wig, or do you think that's a nice reveal?
I think it's a nice reveal later when you see the dragon with the most beautifully fucked up wig.
Yeah.
It's so many different types of hair.
So many different kinds
All the
of hair.
colours
Some
of
of it's
the
like
wind.
really curly, some of it's super frizzy, some of it's like super straight.
Love that. Have you
Yeah.
guys ever read Perdido Street Station by China Miéville?
Oh, yeah.
You're a Miéville.
I've read some Miéville, but not that.
Oh, right. There's a character called Mr. Motley in it who's like made up of like all these different people. He's like a crime boss and he talks like he's in a Guy Ritchie film. It's really good.
Okay.
Frankenstein.
Classic Jigsaw man type.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to keep our powder dry on the dragon wig.
Okay.
That's just a little Easter egg for people, I
That's
think.
just a little...
Yeah. If you get if at a point in your game you get to meet the dragon,
Yeah.
then you
Got
will
a
be able to
wig.
point out
Yeah.
that it has this incredible wig.
How are we going to deal with people not getting the bends when they do escape? Or is that part of the... Are there all the windows unlocked in the prison and you can't open them because you get the
How the
bends?
fuck does the bends work? It's pressure changing.
You're
isn't
just...
it?
Your eyes and your brain
Nitrogen in the
explodes if
blood.
you go up too quick.
So can I ask something? Yes.
Dragon yoke.
Dragon yoke.
Great.
Sorry, Ben. Mac
Done.
over there.
I was just going to ask a
Sorry,
question.
fixed.
Mm.
No, man. I hear a lot complaining, but Mary fixed
But
it.
you would never get the bends in like an already sealed thing, right?
Yeah, you
Well,
do.
You do.
Why?
You absolutely
How?
do.
How does
Because
how could that happen?
Are we really going to... But listen, Ben, can you just accept that many, many people have already figured it out? We're just telling you. That's just the fact.
So if you put me in a submarine and then sunk me right to the bottom of the
Yeah,
ocean...
there's a reason you go down very, very slowly and you acclimatise to the pressure.
the air's
of
the same.
Pressurized.
Yeah, I know. That's
But
what
it's
I'm
like
saying.
A
Like,
Flash new submarine is, but your old diving
yeah, this is
bell,
what I'm saying. Like, you
absolutely
have to
not.
go down insanely slowly in a very, very old machine. It used to take like 8 hours for people to be depressurized.
That doesn't seem correct to me.
Oh my God! Fine. Jesus.
Do you know the story of the building of the Brooklyn Bridge?
Yeah.
Sorry, just quickly.
Yeah.
Because we've
No,
all
we're
read
not
that
talking
speech.
about fucking downspace. If you're about to bring up downspace,
No, goes by B says prisoners go in a box pressurizes slowly, then box get dropped. So once it's pressurized, you're fine.
Okay.
Also, magic.
Yeah, but
Or space magic.
Space magic.
magic.
yeah. Also,
Yeah, it gets
Dave, you
pressurized.
can get the
Technology.
bends, a different kind of bends where you become Ben Queller, Ben Folds, and Ben Lake.
Yes.
And
They
you
have
make-
that one great song.
You make one album or an EP. There's a good song on it.
Yeah, one good song.
aren't you friends with him?
I did a podcast with him. It was lovely. I don't think he'd say that every track on the Bends is a banger.
Ben Lee.
In the end, is a brilliant track.
So
Ben Lee
good.
wouldn't. Ben Folds may.
Yeah, well, I'm not friends with Ben Folds has never been on Very Good Home.
No, but maybe.
We've tried. We broke into his house with a Zoom H6 and some mics. Yeah.
Where's the brick? Show us the brick.
I knew this was. You know, you're right. Maybe
That's the Guy Ritchie film I want to see.
Do you know what? Dump in the sand. Because of how I read this, I was like, for the first line, I was like, oh great, somebody's supporting me.
Yeah, no, Dove wouldn't do that.
All right. So you go down. You go get your head shaved.
You learn out some more information about stuff. Maybe from like, the head shaving person is lower on the rung and they're
Yeah.
like, what's actually going on here, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You get a job maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't have to do yet, but you get assigned something. I think I like the idea that this is a society that they're like, oh yeah, you're now like a miller.
Yeah.
You're now like a cobbler.
Okay. Any others?
No.
Okay, I heard
Miller
something.
and Cobbler. Okay.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast and there was a guy who was in prison. He was talking about how there's all these unspoken rules.
Sure.
Like, you don't sit at that table and like
Yep.
no one tells you, but there are all kinds of...
Well, okay. So this is the question that I wanted to ask you, which is like, how do we tell a story as big as that? Because like, I want them to. Here's what I'd like for players, and tell me how you would, as a GM, would make this work. I want them to go through this thing, which is basically on rails, where and they can act out, but they'll get the shit beaten out of them.
Yeah.
Like they can try and. I'm just trying to Michael Hing this.
Yeah.
They can try and do whatever they want, and they'll learn how powerless they are here.
Yeah, right.
By the time they get in their cell, I want them to have a little bit of time to be like, oh man, this sucks. I reckon we put somebody in their cell with them. So you put an NPC in their cell with them. We'll talk
Yeah.
about who that is in a sec. And I want them to have like a chat with them. And then I want a time jump to like the next day. Now, how does that work when you're running a game?
Look, I think you would just do a lights out thing of like, doors close, you know. I mean, the fact is they're going to try and get out. So maybe what I would do is give them a piece of information with that NPC, which is a red herring. Give them like, oh, that's how we're going to get out. Let's take a rest and run into that tomorrow.
Okay, so you want them to, so a way of like resetting the clock is to get them to do it themselves and take a rest to get their hit points back.
Yeah.
But can you this is what I'm asking, because I think the best version of the story takes a week. And I think it takes a week of them like, oh, maybe not actually, I don't know. It's the best version of like the story, but it might not be the best version of the gameplay.
I was going to say you should have it lights out and come back a week later and then make them do a roll and be like, okay, you have just the fuckedest job.
But that's the hard thing, right? When we've tried to do time jumps like that in Dragon Friends, the first and like fair enough question from the players is like, well, what do I know? What was I just doing?
Yeah.
And you have to fill them in on a week's worth of shit.
Well, that's the thing. Do you know what I would like get a little table situation, right? Where they make a charisma roll or a strength roll to be like prison life check, right?
Yeah.
And they can use whatever stat they want. So like maybe a real talky guy is, if he rolls well, hasn't been beaten up that week.
Yeah.
And a strong guy
This is exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, I think that I think that's the best version of it, and as well. But then you can just give them a little bit of like, okay, well, because you rolled that well with like charisma or whatever, you haven't been beaten up, but you've seen your friends get the shit beaten out of them.
Yeah,
and
okay.
You work in the fucking lavatories or whatever.
So that's interesting because I guess because we play a version of D&D on stage which is like so, and this sounds ridiculous because it's not sometimes, but because it's so story oriented that my first thought is like, but like my player's going to be like, well, what did I do then? And did I find anything that week? And did I do anything that week? And did I meet anybody that week? And like, can you just be like, you're going to roll dice and this is what you learned in that week?
Yeah, I think that would be a way of accelerating it, and you still are giving them information based on those rolls.
Plus, though, if you have a roll later where they're like, all right, well, why does that make sense? Why would I know this? You'd be like, because during the week, this cunt told this to you. You just have a little bit of leeway.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
You know?
And then you're populating the world through that acceleration with different characters. They're like, oh, I want to go talk with the shoesmith.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And they
So here's how it goes.
Why is it so ye olde?
And why is it always about shoes?
We don't know much about the ancient times, but we do know that they wore shoes.
So I think, great, to recap, get there. Paulie Walnuts gives you exposition.
It's true.
Yep.
And that's also a potential like combat thing because like, actually you make it... You know what it is, actually?
What if you're in line with the other prisoners, like waiting to go up to the hair shave station, and that's like potential...
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Also is,
Argy-bargy.
prison, where's all this shit?
Their shit's taken... Their shit goes down with them, I think. Because you want that there for them.
Yep.
It gets taken off you in the sorting, basically, maybe?
Yeah.
It's part of the sorting thing.
And I think also, I don't know how this works in D&D, but is there a way of like making wizards powerless?
Yeah, you can say there's glyphs or whatever, anti-magic
fucking
fields.
glyphs.
Yeah. It's a prison. They've thought of some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this isn't their first
But
visit.
something to realize
that
is
they've
also
arrested.
that, like, oh, you're stripping these characters of everything. So you need to make the game down here less about rolling dice and more about... Like, the best thing about Alcatraz is that they make the raft out of, like, bits of rubber that they, you know... and building the things into the world that they can use to escape.
Oh, was Alcatraz the movie about those guys that did escape Alcatraz?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, because I only know the real story, so I was being so confused.
But some of them were missing. We assume they're dead.
I think, but some people got
No,
letters
some
from
of them
that
may
are
be
probably not
even
real.
closer than you think.
Ben is sopping wet.
Just 70 years and you haven't towed off.
Have you seen the heads that they made? The real life ones?
to leave them in
Fucking
there.
sick.
So
It's so cool.
gross.
They used like toothpaste for their paint and shit.
Yeah, they're
Somebody
real
in the
craftsmen.
chat just suggested in a very crude way that they could use their prison wallets, which...
Their prison wallets? Is that like their poles?
In the first time chat, that's the first thing you want to shoot, GT Wolf. But I think we should give them an option to try and keep something. Whether they eat it or like...
Is prison wallet a name for a bum hole?
Yeah, bum hole or a front bum hole, in a way.
What other bum holes can you think of?
Mouth bumhole.
Mouth bumhole, yeah, the
Word
talking
bumhole.
bumhole.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
bumhole
hearing
that talks.
bumholes. Yeah.
The side bumhole, the
Yeah,
ears.
yep.
As-
You got
as-
that closed off belly bumhole
Yeah.
right here. You can keep one jelly bean in.
But I think we should give them the option that actually might start combat, which is good because I think we should you want an opportunity for in the pulley walnuts thing. There's only one guy, and they should learn how powerless they are.
Yeah. Or you could hot potato something, and maybe there's a distraction thing.
Yeah.
Like, let's
Yeah.
distract Paulie while I put my thing
So
in
it's
my
give
eye.
us all your stuff, and it's maybe a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not even give us all your stuff. It's like there are people shaking them down. They can see the people in front of them that's happening to them.
Yeah.
And they have a chat to work out how the fuck to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like banned substance, banned.
Yeah.
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 Okay, cool.
Blades, bang.
So we go.
Yeah, but you can keep something.
Yeah.
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 Like your stick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe because
Wizard
so much of
stick.
this, and I think we
Oh,
hit
I
on
need
this.
this for
We hit on this in the
my
first
hips.
half. So much of this is engineered to stop revolt. So there's little mechanisms to stop people from going nuts.
Yeah, you give them a little bit of.
You give them a little thing so that they can keep talisman,
Yeah.
not magical ones, but they can keep things that are meaningful. Maybe they can keep one thing,
Yeah.
and they check it for magic and knives and whatever else. But
Yeah.
if you can be clever about it, then yeah.
Yeah.
But by and
Well,
large.
also, it's like, if we take away everything now, then how do we punish you later?
Gotta give them hope.
Nice.
Well, stepping on your nuts, but also what you said was good too.
Yeah, stepping on your nuts actually.
Because
is
the
if
whole-
you don't have anything, stepping on your nuts is pretty bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my nuts.
But no, that's good.
Yeah, it's like what Tom Wamsgam says about prison.
Is that some kind of author?
That's from
Succession.
Succession, where he
haven't
says,
seen it.
oh.
Jamie, haven't you seen it?
No.
Oh, Matt does a good Tom Wamsgams,
That's
which
it.
you will.
The extent of it.
I'll appreciate in maybe
Yeah.
2 years and
Yeah.
a quarter.
Chef.
Cannot wait for the call. It was not bad.
It's pretty good, from what I remember.
Can I say? Oh, I don't want to put him on the spot, but I will. Matt does a very good Gary Oldman in Slow Horses.
I think for the two of us and no one else who's watched that
Okay.
show.
I don't know some horses. I don't
But
know.
Matt, I want to tell you what it's like having Matt as a friend. Matt wanted to know if I'd seen Slow Horses, so he left me a voice message in character as Gary Oldman's character, asking me if I'd seen Slow Horses with a flawless Gary Oldman impression.
Really funny. I can't even think
Which
of what a Gary
really
Oldman
didn't hit
impression's
you
like.
until you went and watched it. When we listened to the voicemail.
Well, I was telling Matt today that, because I've read the books that it's based on, and I was like, it's so funny that Gary Oldman's playing him, because in my mind it's always been Timothy Spall. And then I was like, oh, I know why that is. It's because Mick Herron, who writes the books, routinely throughout the book refers to him as he looks like Timothy Spall. It's good writing. It's good.
How many times, how do you keep saying that? Because, you don't...
He says it at least once in every book.
Okay.
Because there's several books.
Yeah.
But I
But
swear
it's not
in the
like-
first one he says it 3 times.
He walked through the door in a quite Spallish sort of way.
Yeah, but then he says things he mixes it up. He's like Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew.
That's the person that Timothy Spall plays in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about now!
An aging Mr. Turner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That movie.
Also, every other character in the books is always like, you look like...
I do think he gets desperate in the 3rd book, and somebody's like, "You fucking Timothy Spall lookalike." I really think he was really aiming for Spall, which is weird because he overshot and got Oldman. You know what I mean?
That's what
Yeah.
happens.
The chat is just loving this with silence.
Yeah. What impressions can you do, Ben?
A guy who wants to tell a story. So here we
Okay,
go.
go ahead.
Go.
So we do a time jump, as Dave has pointed out in the chat. I think quite rudely. It's called Downtime, and I should read a player's manual. All right, cool. So
Roasted.
Mum and Dad are fighting.
so they do that. They wake up with a week later, and they've done stuff around the place, and they've worked out how the place works.
I'd have decorated my cell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Literally about to say that. What would you have done?
And they've all been given jobs, separate jobs in different places kind of shit.
Yep.
You have a little rundown.
And
for
I
each
think
of
this
them.
is one of those things, because we were talking about how we'd want to actually map this out in terms of a player's kind of a GM's guide. I reckon there is jobs that you can roll D20 for, and they're on the map, and so maybe somebody works in the laundry room, maybe somebody works in a place near the dragon place.
Yep. Someone else is a wait staff in the court.
Yeah.
So they're seeing that.
Excellent. So like you can, and that gives it like replayability too if you want to do it, because all of a sudden, as you say, Matt, so much of this is about like bringing different skills together and bringing like
Yes. Yes.
Say it every day.
Fuck, can you jump a year? No, you can't jump a year. That'd be madness.
You don't
They'll be mad about it.
need to. Yeah.
No, I just wanted like somebody who's like really good at what they're doing, but no, you don't need to.
Oh, I'd naturally be good at decorating myself.
Yeah, I mean, but you only need a week, but we're talking about everybody else.
Okay. Okay.
What is the purpose of the time jump is for them to learn more information and to deepen relationships such that people might trust them to be on their side.
I was also thinking of it as like on the second day, you're not going to be like, we need to get out of here. You know, you're going to be like, oh no,
But-
we're here.
And also it's to give them... Yeah, it's to give them footholds.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
And it's also like a way of like splitting the party, but while we're asleep, and then bringing the party back together.
Yeah, true.
Because I don't want to
true.
I don't want to watch someone upskill and learn what they learn about the court necessarily. I think that's like a good scene to be able to do, but like...
You just give it to them.
Yeah, you just give it to them.
But and then, so the big scene that they all come back together for is the guard promotion.
Yeah, the lottery.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really, really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Before that, I think,
Yeah.
when we meet them after the time jump, they're in the mess, and we give them a chance to chat, and we
Yeah.
give them a chance to like maybe try and nick something. I think we always give them chances to like because this thing is so underwater and so heavily guarded. I think like we give them chances to like accrue weapons because people are kind of lax with that.
It makes sense that it's kind of a self-regulating environment. If people die, they don't really care, but you know,
Yeah.
the guards generally
Yeah,
want to do well.
GT Wolf, that's a great comment off the back of your first one, which now isn't about bumholes. Everybody wants kitchen duty, extra food, and has access to sharp objects.
Yeah. There's a guy that I was reading about who like took 3 tries to carve a key that got him out of I mean, it was more of a maximum security mental hospital once, but I read about that.
Really?
It's a true story thing. I'll send
What
it
did
to
he
you.
carve it out of?
He made them trust him after like 5 years, and he was working kitchen duty, and he got spoons, and then carved these keys, and was just like guessing based on the shape of key that he saw the guards have, and it took him 3 tries. His name was Howard. Can't remember his last name. I'll look it up for
That is
you.
amazing.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Goes by Bees had the idea of like, what about the old boy thing with a sedated to wake her up somewhere else? I think that's a good idea for maybe the next time jump, but I want them to have actually done stuff and remember stuff.
I think Dave, for once in his life, has had a good idea. Start the first half age 6 and then jump 40 years.
Yeah.
I don't play a lot of D&D, but normally you start with all the characters who are age 6.
Everyone's
six,
baby.
yes.
Everybody's 6.
Yeah.
Everybody's 6.
Everyone's doing Muppet Babies.
But it's as if you experience Muppet Babies and then imagine them growing up.
Yeah.
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 And players
Well-
love that, by the way, when you just give them like 34 years
Yeah.
so they can't fill in.
Yeah. Well, I've only just walked into this tavern, but I get a good vibe from you.
You got mystery for me?
You know, come on adventure.
No, it's a lot like kids. Because when you play D&D, you walk into a tavern with fucking randoms. You're like,
Yeah.
hey, you want to be friends forever?
Hey, what's your name?
You want to be friends forever? Okay, let's go on adventures.
What's your biggest secret? It's the first conversation you have.
Mo has a friend at preschool now, which is really nice.
Yeah.
He didn't. Her name is Esmeralda.
Oh.
It does sound like a tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Older.
And she was like, I came to pick him up the other day, and she was like, I was like, oh, hi, I'm Moses' dad. And she was like, Moses is my best friend.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's so nice. I'm just going to go grab Mo. And then, like, in the car, I was like, hey, you...
Who was that fucking nerd that I was talking to, Mo?
No, yeah, because, like, you can do better.
I was your best friend.
Yeah. What the fuck, man? Like, I read you so much. What is she, like... But no, and he was like, oh, yeah, she's nice.
Rough stuff.
She's
No.
nice.
Oh, she is a nerd.
She is a nerd, but that's fine.
Oh, she's
So
nice.
we wake up, we're in the mess. I think there's an opportunity for like maybe some sort of like sneakiness. What we haven't gotten to the heart of yet is how they're going to work out how to break out. And I think we need some NPCs. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that we're going to get there tonight.
No.
It's my fault. It was.
Can it
Okay,
be, can
let's
it
get
be
there.
that there's like, in the things that they've done during the week, there's like 4 potential escape routes. Like, that's what's nice about all the things we added
Oh,
in. So
that's true.
So the whole thing's like, oh, they export dragon eggs. And you're like, ooh. And then the next one is like, oh, the court...
I think there's got to be a way out using the rake.
Great. So
Yeah.
So we got
someone's on like sea combing duties.
Yeah.
So let's not do dice roll. Let's have your. Oh, it's a bit hard with size of the party, but you can work it out.
I think you have a mini game where you do a little speech about why you think your piece of information is the best way to escape. I think that would be great.
But yeah,
I genuinely think it would be
So
a good
there's
idea.
the
Actually, no, that's what we do. We come up with like, and we probably can't do it tonight, but you'd come up with like 6 ways out.
Yeah.
And then your party is assigned to 4 of those 6 at random, and then you meet back at the thing at the mess hall.
Yeah.
And
separate to that, just in case you want to make it more stupid, and I'm taking this from a Jackbox game, you just get given 5 random pictures, and you're like, this first picture is why I think we should use my method.
oh,
And
they have to do like a PowerPoint presentation they haven't
I
seen.
think that'd be fun.
I reckon like something that you could do, which like I don't think is very D&D, but like in order to like facilitate this time jump without actually having to do scenes, you could have like cards that you give each player. Like it's like you rolled a 4, you're in the kitchen, and in the your kitchen card basically explains what you've been doing in the kitchen and how you found a way out in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you have to have your own
Send 'em
fucking...
out.
Then you have to have your own thing, and maybe you can do that where it's
Yeah.
like this,
Yep.
this, and this. Yeah.
I think, there's so many good like prison-y things, just going back to the story mode of it, where you've got like, you're hiding in something, you break something to get out. Like you actually break through a wall or whatever the wall context is.
Uprising,
you
riot.
impersonate someone, you
Rita Hayworth on the wall.
you redo the tech of it. Or there's like the patience method, which is the Rita Hayworth. It's like, we're here for the long haul and I'm going to slowly...
Yeah.
Chip this away.
Yeah.
Which is not great for...
I like the
D&D.
impersonation thing. How can you get out of the court? Maybe, I know this is like the thing you've been saying the entire time that I've been pushing against, but maybe there is a way for the court to like
Come and go.
occasionally like...
Yeah.
I know I've been saying that sucks this whole time, and I know I didn't want to do it, but now that it's easy, I do want to do it.
No, this is Dave is sympathising here because this is what it's like building an adventure with me, where I put these like restraints on something because I love the neatness of it so much, and Dave will often be saying, "Yeah, but if we just had a bit of wiggle room," and then it's like, "Yeah, but like."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe the court comes and goes. So maybe you can get to the court and escape that way. You can, if you're on dragon egg duty, you can go up the pipes.
Yep. That's hiding your way out.
If you're on the rakes, maybe they export some.
I think the rake is like you use the technology of the prison against itself.
Yeah.
And
And
then-
potentially the trust of whatever. It's a good job, so maybe you got the
You
trust of
destroy the
guards and shit.
prison.
And then I think there's
You become.
let's start a rebellion within the prison.
Yes.
There's and then you have to do the active work of potentially getting all the prisoners on the same side, or setting them off in such an explosive way.
Yeah.
I think there's also a like, what's it called? Like a flawless victory where you get the dragon on side.
Yeah.
Because as
That's a
Aiden,
real wild card.
yeah. Because as Aiden says, like I think it should be technically possible to do. Because as Aiden says, like everyone here is a prisoner, and I think including the like as you said, including the dragon. And once you realise that, maybe there's like, yeah.
How do you
But
train
she
a
never
dragon?
would have put on that wig herself.
Nobody knows.
And nobody's explored the idea.
No, nobody has. Gordia Knot says a compromise. The court doesn't get out, but has a supply contact line which you can use to contact your allies outside. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with
For
that.
rouge and jelly cakes and this kind of stuff.
Mums and
Yeah.
whatnot, yeah.
Big weird rings
Yes.
that you can kind of.
Okay,
I mean, you can also just make it easy and be like, the court just like, they have a flawless way of coming in and out, and they're just Squid Gaming it, where they just come in and look and they're like, ha ha ha.
No, I want them to be saddos.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think people have watched like Squid Game play sad.
I want them to be like.
Oh, they were the real victims.
Oh.
That's how I took it.
And as Sam Maleos has said, you know the players will ignore the possible escape routes until you set up and come up with their own batch. And I think that like as a good GM,
Yes.
you should be open to that.
Yeah.
But I mean, so the eggs make sense. So you need to break open an egg and fix an egg.
Well, you need to poke a hole in it in each side and blow it slowly.
Yeah.
And then diet for Greek Easter.
Yes.
And then
Slip
line
into
up with
the-
Zoe Norton Lodge's mother. And
Yes.
So but the actual ways to get out though, there's the tube.
Yep.
Is there any other way?
Yeah, there's the
Like-
And the court.
the court.
The court might, maybe like one person from the court. I don't think the important thing to me, which is what makes this whole ecosystem interesting, is that everybody's fucking stuck there.
Yeah.
And if anybody from the court gets to go up, it's like a once in a generation thing, or it's like a once in every 5 years or whatever.
Or there's just
there's like an ascension.
Yeah.
Or there's just a person who comes down and like talks to the court every now and again, and it's like that's its own weird role.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Ted's here.
Ted from the surface.
Ted from HR is here.
Hey guys. So
The HR guy is very good and very funny to like. Yeah, and there's like two major events on the lottery on the calendar. There's the lottery, and then there's like HR visits once a year.
Yes.
And brings some t-shirts and stress balls and stuff. And
I like this. This is
can I
Severance.
challenge us though? Because like as soon as you involve that guy or someone ascends, they're like, okay, that's the way. Is there like more ingenious, like crazier way that obviously that not going to help? Like, what's the craziest?
well, I'd get
way
the
to get out of
rakes.
this prison?
I'd blow up the bottom structural part of the prison and use the rakes to crawl my way across the ocean.
Well,
Just pull the whole.
Yeah, until you get to a place where it's shallow enough that you're not getting the bends and you're crawling
but
up to
also,
the
like,
surface.
the whole thing is probably trying to lift up from the ground, right?
Yeah, I'd
Maybe.
flood it with oxygen so it floated.
But it's already flooded with oxygen.
Not all the chambers.
Yeah,
Right.
Ben.
But, like, surely this whole thing is trying to get off the bottom of the sea, like,
Yeah.
physics-wise.
Cut the strings.
Oh, but it's kind of sucked onto the volcano, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
like,
maybe
that's...
there's a suction
Yeah, but
thing
the
going on.
thing is, if you cut it would go up so quickly you'd die anyway from the
Oh,
bends
the
that
bends.
explode.
So
Thank you for the... Sorry, just
quickly.
quickly, thank you for the sub, Crypt Desk. Yes,
26 months.
Yes, we... Thank you
Heroic.
very much. We are breaking out of Mr. Pooh's toilet. Yeah, fish balloons. Shatter the change that's keeping it at the seabed. I think that's like nice.
And then you've got to like
That's
let
good.
some water in the chamber to like slow
Yeah.
it down, but not enough so you don't run out of
Yeah.
oxygen.
I just don't think the bends is a thing, guys.
Oh my
Like, I'm willing to go on
God.
What do you
record.
think Radiohead was singing about?
I think they were thinking about me and my friends called Ben. Ben Lee, Ben Quella. Does Ben think everything floats? No, because there's a song that I sing with Mo in the bath and it goes boom, 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 boom. Oh, will it float? Boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Or will it sink? Boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Which will it be? Which do you think? Boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum.
And
Will
this
it
is
stay
this is the science
on
that
top
we've been basing
of
all of
water? Or to the bottom will it sink? So I know that not everything floats.
Oh, well, let's sing. Is this when you're allowing your boy to shit in the bath?
My boy has not shat in the bath since he was like 1, thank you very much.
Okay.
Where I almost gave him away. I almost just carried him out on the street and be like, who wants it?
You're lucky no one was around that day. There was very little foot traffic.
I think it almost gave him away, as in
As a baby.
you'd been hiding him in like a bath or something.
Okay, so we've got, I think, like, given
we've bloody done it.
Given time restraints, I think we've got, and this is not a complete MPT, and you know, some of them are going to complete, and some of them are going to have Eden in them. But I think we need 6 ways of getting out, and I think we've covered a lot of them.
Toilet.
So toilet?
Toilet as well.
No, that toilet just goes out into the sea.
Yeah, that's where I want to be.
So,
Outside the jail.
Outside.
okay, Dan. So you flush yourself out of the toilet. This is good. You flush yourself out of the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk us through it.
No, hang on. You actually might be on something here because they need to repair the outside of it, so they have high pressure suits.
Oh, that's true.
Also, like train a dolphin to help you.
Okay, well that's not one of the 6.
Oh, Sequest DSV. Love it.
Yeah.
Or what about sea dragons? Oh, it's a sea dragon.
Well, this is the thing. Befriend a dragon.
That's smart.
I've said befriend a dragon so many times, and every time the thread has
But
said.
have you thought about?
Every time the thread has said dragon, friends, dragon, friends, dragon, friends, which is a good point.
No more of that. Fish balloon. A fish balloon.
Toilet too small, says Zog 3 Delta.
No, not my
but that's
toilet.
a fun thing. That's a fun thing that they're like, all you eat down there is fish. These leathery little fish, and you just scrape out the meat and you just throw away the leathery stuff away.
Yeah.
So they can build like scuba suits.
Yeah,
You know, the waste is something.
Also, seaweed.
Seaweed.
It's,
kelp.
Seaweed.
It's going to be the resource of the future.
Yeah.
Moth
It's
piss.
true.
So I reckon if we can come up with 6 right now that are playable.
Okay.
Toilet.
Okay, so
So-
use the rakes to drag the entire prison to shallow
Let's
water.
call
I
that
love
hard
that.
mode, but it's one.
I love it though.
Okay, 1. That's good. Convince the court to.
Yeah, impersonate. I think you've got a good list
Okay,
here.
so
which is
I've got hiding.
yep.
So that's the dragon egg.
That's the
and
egg.
that's your kind of like
Hiding in a dragon egg, hollow a dragon egg out, and thump to the surface.
that's your classic laundry
Yep.
situation.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Demolition, which is you it's risky, but you somehow blow up some aspect of the prison in the hope that it floats its way up.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the get the chains and
Yep. There's impersonation, so that's like getting your way into the court so that you can get your way out somehow.
But also impersonation, by the way, like it doesn't. You could be like, I'm the Duke of Pooh Town, and I need to see the dragon tubes. Like,
This way, my lord.
sorry, I didn't mean to Daniel Day-Lewis you. I only do it very occasionally because
That
this is the power of it. But
was incredible. Okay, so there's more. Well, I don't even want to mention it again. There's Prison Riot,
yes, big one.
which gives you the chance to then get into the room where the stuff is happening.
That's
Yep.
probably going to be in combination with something else, maybe. Maybe.
Okay.
Distraction.
This needs more fleshing out, but I think we've like got some okay gameplay and a pretty fun universe. Well, I think we MPT'd it slightly.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, my penis feels mangled.
Yeah, and of course, there's
Terribly.
flushing stuff down the toilet.
Yeah, toilet.
Killing yourself instantly.
Toilet.
Not fitting, and then killing yourself instantly if you manage it.
My friends with a shark.
Okay.
Oh, animal friends. Yeah, that's good.
Animal friends.
Animal friends.
Thank you so much for watching. I think that's all we have time for tonight on MPT.
Perfect.